before we got here. Predation, one animal eats the other, gets the energy, pretty easy. Competition, two organisms or more competing over one biotic or abiotic example. In this case, they're competing for an biotic example, which is their food. They're competing over a biotic factor, which is the butterfly, which is their food and their source of energy. All right, that's pretty easy. I think we're having a good time right now because the first two relationships we already studied. And now let's go over the two new ones. So this is something you might have learned in 5th grade, but because a lot of us are new, we're gonna actually review it, and we're gonna learn some vocabulary. All right. So first of all, I'm gonna just wait until everybody in the chat is focused. Otherwise, I'm gonna remove people, but please, let's keep it on the topic. All right, I think we are done. Okay, cool. All right, so the third relationship, cool. Thank you, Sunay. The third relationship is beneficial. Beneficial means, I know it sounds pretty straightforward, but we're gonna actually get to define it. Beneficial relationship is two organisms that benefit, that have a mutual relationship that is beneficial to each other. We're gonna learn that it doesn't happen every time, but for the most part, two animals, two plants, or one animal, one plant, or one animal, one bacteria, two organisms are interacting with each other, and they are happy that they are interacting with each other. There are some examples that you're gonna see in the practice. There are some videos in here, and in the lesson, we have two examples in the beginning. The first example is the bird oxpecker, which is little birds. Like if you usually watch like Africa documentaries, you see like in the savannah, you're gonna see these buffaloes, but they also have like little birds just climbing on top, like they're getting an Uber from the ox, from the buffalo. They're actually birds that are gonna clean the parasites. They're gonna clean the ticks, the mosquitoes, everything that is on the skin of the ox. And they actually, because they're eating those parasites, the birds are happy because they're getting fed, they're eating. And the buffalo is happy because they get their skin clean from parasites, from things that will suck their blood. And that relationship, we can call it beneficial. Because in this case, two animals, or in this case it was two animals, but it could be two organisms of different types, interacting with each other, and both of them are happy. We're gonna get to those, Nicholas. We're gonna get to those, Nick. Model used to get skin. Oh, really? Oh, okay, sure. Anyway, that's our first example of two organisms being happy with each other. In that case, we're gonna call it mutualism. Okay, I misspelled it right here. There you go. Did I spell it right? Mutualism. Okay. They're happy with each other. So one animal is interacting with this one, and both of them are gonna be happy with each other. That's called mutualism. Both sides win. You're gonna see happy face, happy face. We can also have a second type of beneficial relationship. This one we don't see that often in the books, but I think it's equally as important. And that's when one animal benefits, one organism benefits, and the other one doesn't really mind. In this case, we have some squirrels living in a tree. The squirrels get shelter. They get that factor, that really good shelter that the tree is offering in their, in the crevices. So they're living inside the tree. They're happy. They benefit from the tree, but the tree doesn't really benefit from them. The tree doesn't care. It's a tree. So the tree doesn't really mind the squirrels living in it. It's no harm by any means, but it's also not benefiting from the tree. And that's what we call commensalism. I know it's a big word. We're gonna get used to it. It's just a type of beneficial relationship. So in this case, the squirrel is happy, is benefiting from the tree, but the tree doesn't really mind. If you see this just serious face, it's not that it's sad or happy. The tree just doesn't really mind. I know it's a squirrel right here, but just imagine there is a tree right here. So the tree doesn't mind. There are other type of commensalism, like different animals living in a tree. It doesn't have to be a squirrel. It could be insects that are climbing the tree. The tree doesn't really benefit for having so many animals living inside and on top of it, but it doesn't really mind either. All right, guys. Oh, I forgot this one. This one is a little, I think we mentioned in the classroom, but the bacteria in your gut, in your intestine, is actually a beneficial relationship. because the bacteria eats some of your food, not a lot, because they're bacteria, they're pretty small, and they also help you digest. So you benefit from the bacteria, and the bacteria benefit from you. What do you think it is? If the bacteria is benefiting from you eating, and you're benefiting from the bacteria digesting your food, breaking down food, what do you think it is? Do you think it's mutualism or commensalism? Stomach is digestive system. Womb is something in the reproductory system, which you're going to study next year. Mutualism, I think. Why is it mutualism, Aiden? Me too says, I hear oinks. Sure. Why do you think it's mutualism? Anybody? Aiden says mutualism. Because when the bacteria gets food, right? So both benefit from each other. So in this case, Oscar, do we care about that noise? No, we don't care. So if I hear it one more time in the chat, I'm just gonna remove whoever's talking about it. Let's not talk about the on sign. I don't even know what that is. All right, so in this case, the bacteria benefit from us, and we benefit from the bacteria. So win-win. Everybody wins, just like Mr. Abdin said. That's called mutualism, and that's one type of beneficial relationship. Do we have time? I was gonna show you a video. Let's see if we can see that video. And you're gonna tell me how these two animals benefit from each other. All right, so let me project this tab so you get sound, and we're gonna watch a quick video, and you're gonna tell me what type of relationship is. Let me see if I can stop projecting. Give me 1 second. And then I present a tab. All right. Symbiosis, a surprise in itself. Cool. All right, we're gonna watch this quick video, and you're going to tell me, what do you think of that relationship? Share this tab instead. Cool. All right, I'm gonna put it.
With the word symbiosis, it's a fancy term for partnership between two different species, such as bees and flowers.
I forgot to tell you, symbiosis is just another term for beneficial relationship. So when you hear the word symbiosis, it's just beneficial.
In a symbiosis, both species depend on each other. I want to tell you about a remarkable symbiosis between a little bird, the Clarks Nutcracker, and a...
Yep, let me mute myself. I apologize. Sorry, thank you.
Species depend on each other. I want to tell you about a remarkable symbiosis between a little bird, the Clarks Nutcracker, and a big tree, the whitebark pine. Whitebark grow in the mountains of Wyoming, Montana, and other western states. They have huge canopies and lots of needles, which provide cover and shelter for other plants and animals. And whitebark feed the forest. Their cones are packed with protein. Squirrels gnaw the cones from the upper branches so they fall to the ground, and then race down to bury them in piles or middens. But they don't get to keep all of them. Grizzlies and black bears love finding middens. But there's more to a symbiosis than one species feeding another. In the case of the Clarks Nutcracker, this bird gives back. While gathering its seeds, it also replants the trees. Here's how it works. Using her powerful beak, a nutcracker picks apart a cone in a treetop, pulling out the seeds. She can store up to 80 of them in a pouch in her throat. Then she flies through the forest, looking for a place to cache the seeds an inch under the soil, in piles of up to 8 seeds. Nutcrackers can gather up to 90,000 seeds in the autumn, which they return for in the winter and spring. And these birds are smart. They remember where all those seeds are. They even use landmarks on the landscape, trees, stumps, rocks, to triangulate to caches buried deep under the snow. What they don't go back and get, those seeds become whitebark. This symbiosis is so important to both species that they've changed or evolved to suit each other. Nutcrackers have developed long, tough beaks for extracting seeds from cones. And whitebark's branches all sweep upwards, with the cones at the very ends, so they can offer them to the nutcrackers as they fly by. That's a symbiosis. Two species cooperating to help each other for the benefit of all.
All right, cool. So it's symbiosis. So we already know it's beneficial. We want to know. One second. I don't want commercials. All right. We want to know if it's beneficial for both or one of them. So I'm gonna share this again, and you are going to tell me, is it mutualism or commensalism? What do you think? We already know it's beneficial, aka symbiosis, but do you think is mutualism or commensalism? Yep, it's symbiosis, which means beneficial, mutual, right? I cannot spell. Why do you think that, Nicholas? Nick, you want to unmute yourself? You want to talk? Because both. Oh, commensalism, says Oscar. Let's. So we have a debate going on. No problem. Okay. Replanted.
All right, because both of them get something from it. Like the Nutcracker, the bird gets takes the seeds, and then the tree population gets up, and so they do it over and over, and as they evolve, they start to help each other, and that's it.
Pretty much it. I think you could even say it simpler, and even that works. So the tree gets to reproduce because it gets the seeds of the tree gets planted thanks to the bird. The bird actually plants the seeds on the ground, and the birds get food. That's pretty much it. One gets happy, one is benefited, the other one benefits as well. Both of them are happy, win-win. Okay, so it's mutualism instead of commensalism, but it's regardless, it's beneficial. Okay, the last time, I know we don't need to spend that much time with because you're gonna see it in the practice. There is a really interesting video in the practice that I think some of you are gonna enjoy, some of you might look away for a minute. Anyway, the last relationship number 4 is called harmful relationship. A lot of times it's called parasitism, which is, oh, I'm not even sharing the tab. The 4th relationship is harmful relationship, which usually is called parasitism. Keyword parasite, just like Nick was saying with the models, something like that. Yep. So one of them wins, one of them is sad. If we go to our chart, we're gonna see that right here. In parasitism, one organism is benefits from the other, and the other organism, instead of benefited or just don't mind it, the other organism is harmed. It doesn't need to die. It's not predator and prey. It doesn't die. A lot of the times doesn't die, but it's harmed. Think about mosquitoes when they suck your blood. Mosquitoes are gonna feed from your blood. Female mosquitoes are gonna feed from your blood. You're getting harmed because you are losing blood. You don't die. I hope not. But you are losing blood, and that's called a harmful relationship, which in this case we can also call it parasitism, because the parasite, the mosquito, is gonna feed from you, is gonna benefit from you, but you don't get any benefits, you get harmed.